What's up, guys? My name's Nick. Welcome to White Trash Racing. Today on this video we're going to be building my 600 horsepower all-wheel drive Integra turbo kit. In the last video, if you haven't seen, we went ahead and installed the transmission, the engine, and everything into the car. And today we're going to be fitting up this intercooler, these boost pipes, welding the boost pipes, and building a drain for the turbo and all that. So stick around and enjoy the video. All right, boys and girls, we're back working on the all-wheel drive Integra Sleeping Beauty. If you guys haven't been following along the build, definitely subscribe to the channel and see what we just did, because we're about to put this intercooler on. So we got a couple problems with this intercooler. Let me just, get you up to date and explain what's going on if you guys haven't been following along the Anyways, so this intercooler came off of a Honda CR-V that I parted out. That's how I got all the all-wheel drive parts for the Integra. And it is a full race backdoor intercooler that full race built to fit the 92 to 95 Civics or 94 and up Integras. But I'm pretty sure when they designed it, they didn't figure you would have air conditioning on the car. Because if you look right here, first off, I don't even know if this thing is going to fit behind, because if you see this bar right here, see that goes up in the bumper right here. So that goes like right here, and then that blow off valve is like right here where the light's at. So it's like almost just doesn't look like it's gonna fit. But I'm not gonna give up until I know for sure. So the other problem is that if you look right here, see where the pipe comes out in the back? If you look, see it goes straight right at my AC line. I'm almost thinking I could go cut a hole down here and go lower, or I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do yet, but it's such a tight fit down in there. I'm thinking I might just put like a little angle on the pipe so that it could, I might even cut it down and then angle it up so that I could go up through this hole right here. Because that hole has a lot more room, but it's not quite lined up with where the pipe will be at. You see, the pipe's going more like that way, and I need it to be up higher right there. So, and then as soon as I move this intercooler back, we're basically going to be jammed up against that AC condenser. So there won't really be any room to make a pipe that bends. So I'll probably have to cut this flange off and weld another flange on at like an angle so that I can get up into that hole right there. But so that's what we're doing today on this video. We got the new Pulsar turbo. This is what I was gonna show you guys in the last video. Haven't really gone over it yet, but we did get a Pulsar GT3076R. It's actually a GTX3076R. It's a ball bearing billet wheel. It is rated for 750 flywheel horsepower, so should definitely hit our goals. Got a couple 90-degree stainless bends right here that I ordered so that we can make the downpipe. That'll come out something like that. And then, but first, most important thing is we need to get the intercooler mounted up. If you could see, I already marked out this little line with the permanent marker so I could cut out the radiator support. All right, just cut that thing out. And fits somewhat decent so far, besides right back here. If you look, this pipe is super close to that AC line. They're actually not physically touching, but they would be if I just pushed it back a little tiny bit. So that is going to be the major issue we have. I think I can actually work with it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this down real close I'm gonna put another pipe on it with a little bend. And I'm just gonna kind of shoot it a little bit this way and up at the same time so I could catch that little hole right there. All right, I've figured out what I'm gonna do here. So two things. One thing is that it needs to come up. That way it could, I just wanna make sure it's not hitting on the bumper, right? And then in order to do that, it needs to go up and then back. It's sitting in a good spot right here, especially if I was like more of a drag car, but it's more of a daily driver. So just trying to have everything fit really good. And I think I've came up with a real good plan. It's gonna definitely require some modifications of this intercooler, but that's fine anyways, because it already had to be welded on. So I'm just gonna have to weld on it a little bit more. So right here, if you look right here, I could easily go up like another 1/2 of an inch before this pipe hits on that. And in order to do that, I have to cut some more out of here where there's not much left, right? And if I was gonna use this to bolt there, if I come up any further, there's not gonna be anything to bolt to. And same on that side. So if over here I got a ton of room, I could still come up some more to gain me some ground clearance and clearance on the bottom of the bumper. So then my other thought was, okay, you know, that'll work. I can basically cut on these lines right here and then the radiator can come up. So how can the radiator go backwards, right? And I'm like, man, it's just like this intercooler was built wrong, you know, like this for what I'm trying to do. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if I can actually bring this intercooler up enough, I actually may have just changed my mind again. But I was gonna just cut this thing off, weld it flat piece of metal, and then move this thing up higher, because I was gonna run a 2-inch pipe into here. This is a 2.5 inch. So if I even run a 2-inch pipe, I'll already gain clearance. But now that I'm thinking about it, but when I move the radiator up or the intercooler up, I'll probably gain enough room, combining with the fact that I'm gonna go to a 2-inch pipe off of this, that I'll probably be able to fit through that hole right after that. All right, so we definitely got it high enough. It's gonna be high enough. It's above the radiator support. So if we hit anything, it'll be the radiator first, or I mean the radiator support. And then right here, we're pretty much where we need to be. Once I weld a smaller pipe on here and then kind of put a little angle on it, we should be good. Especially, we're just kind of sitting a little lower than we would hopefully be. We're just gonna have a little bit of gap right there, just enough to make things not rub. But that's gonna work out. I actually realized too, these aluminum lines, they're pretty soft, so I'll probably be able to get a little bit more clearance out of that thing by giving a little bend on it. All right, check it out. Got these little brackets made up. I'm gonna weld them on top right there where the original ones were, and that'll support it for now. It's not the craziest bracket, but it'll work. I had to remake this one on that side because I had to bend this twice, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna snap. So I just cut another one. It actually needed to be a little shorter anyway, so it worked out. But pretty nice little brackets, you know, they're gonna be nice. I'll just throw a bead here, bead there, and then she'll be solid. So yeah, let's go ahead and weld it up and see how it comes out. All right, guys, there it is. Can't tell whose welds are whose, dude. Just kidding. Did all right, did all right. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not very good at TIG welding yet. Get the job done though. Came out nice though. I actually really like the fitment. The fitment is like, man, I don't know. The fitment is awesome. Especially once I do this piece now in the back. God, it's gonna be so sick. Just gotta make that pipe come through that hole now. Look how much closer we are to where we started. They're almost clearing the top of that thing. And once I put the 2-inch pipe and cut this thing down with a little angle up, we're gonna clear it like nothing. Got a nice little gap on that side. Nice little gap on that side. Just enough room for an intercooler boot, you know? So I like it, man. Nice and tucked up. Bunch of room from the ground. See that radiator support's actually lower than the intercooler. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. All right, guys, so right here, if you can see, that's basically what I, all right, so like I was showing you guys, that's how it's gonna go. I got it all marked out. That little green line right there with that little green line. And this pipe will sit right there. And that'll convert that 2.5 inch to that 2-inch. And that way we can clear the AC and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld that up. We'll see how it turns out. All right, boys and girls, it is like the next day, the next night, maybe even the night after that. I don't even know. Like you just seen, I just cut all those pie cuts, and then I just made from the turbo to the intercooler, the first boost pipe. I always like making the boost pipes as short as possible, and I really made this one short this time, and it's just so sick. So I'm going to show you it. It's right there on the table, but first I'm going to show you where it connects. So like you're seeing on the intercooler, we made that little piece that comes out there now. And let me grab a flashlight real quick. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, right here. All right, so got that piece coming out right there, right? So that is what we needed to connect to that right there. So we got turbo. The turbo needs to blow into the intercooler. How's it gonna do that, boy? It's kind of not, that don't look like a very straight shot to me, boy. That looks like a lot of pie cuts to me, brother. And let me tell you right now, boys. Damn, your boy can't weld, but I'm getting better. I'm slowly getting, don't look at that first one. That first one was really bad. But If you look at it from this side right here, like if you just don't look at that one, it almost looks like I'm pro. So just those are the welds, all right? Just those are the welds, man. All right, anybody that was just watching that, I'm like, why was that thing twisted like that? It's because the turbo is kind of twisted. So like, not only does it come at an angle like this, it kind of comes at an angle like that. So that's how that pipe is. It's angled just like that. All right, everybody, it is like the third day of the build. It's like probably the second week though. I've had a lot of work going through the shop and stuff, so I've been busy, but we'll get right to the important stuff. We are almost at the end of this. We just, as you've seen, finish up these pipes. So those are done. We mounted the intercooler in the beginning of the video. We made this other boost pipe right there. And right now, what I'm working on, and I really apologize for not filming because I think it would have been a really cool process to watch, but the oil drain on this was so tight. If you've ever run one of these manifolds, it's just a cheap eBay manifold, top mount, cast. The drain line comes really close, like right here. So I decided instead of making one out of a AN line, whether it be stainless or whatever, I didn't want it to come that close to the manifold and end up, rubbing through or leaking from the heat. So I decided to come up with a stainless steel line that will connect down here to a 10 AN fitting here. So it'll be from here all the way up, it'll be a stainless steel pipe. And I got that over here on the table. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm about to back purge it and fill it up, weld it up. So this is what I've come up with. So this is what you normally have on the bottom of the turbo, right? Just a 10 AN little fitting, bolts right on, and you can put your pipe on the bottom of that. The problem with that was, like I said, that wasn't going to really, first off, I'd never be able to bolt that on with the turbo on, so it'd be a complete nightmare. So I came up with this piece. It bolts on the bottom of the turbo. See, it's the exact same flange right there. Copied the design and everything, same little angles, so little square shape type of deal. So that bolts onto the bottom of the turbo, and I got this little piece coming off with a nice little, not quite a 90, but a little swooping angle there, connected to a little straight piece here with another angle going back the other way, and that will perfectly wrap around the exhaust manifold right there. And then I'm going to weld this this 10 AN fitting on the bottom here, and you won't even be able to tell I made this thing. So that's the plan. This thing will be super strong. You know what this is? This is actually a stainless steel handlebar for a jet ski. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you the scraps I've been cutting it pieces off. So here's the other half of the handlebar. So, I use that little bend and then this little bend, and you'd never know. Stainless steel, comes off a jet ski so it doesn't rust. Super strong. If that thing breaks, it's probably physically almost impossible. So this thing should be super strong. Let's go ahead and get it welded up. I'm going to back purge it. That way we don't get any contamination on the inside, and get her welded. Alright, so right here I got the little pipe, and then I got the fitting, and we got this. So this is a little extra tank I got, and I got this spare line I put on there. Here's a little cap that I found that'll fit right here to the end of this pipe. Someone's car don't sound very good. Put that in there like that. Then that'll pump gas in here. And then I got this thing fits really tight in there, so it won't let hardly much air pass by it. So that'll purge this side, cap that side, and that'll pump gas into the other side of the welds, so that what'll happen if you don't do that, the inside of the weld will look all like it'll be all nasty instead of being like clean like the outside. And then when the oil flows through it, because like these ones, I'll never be able to clean those, right? So when the oil flows through, there could be a piece of metal that will flake off and then drain into the engine. You wouldn't want that. All right, got her all done, all welded up, bolted it on right here. One thing I love about the Pulsar turbos, they come with these little nice Allen bolts. It came with everything, even came with a flange, but it wasn't gonna work for what I was trying to do. But yeah, these turbos are really nice. But so I'm gonna go ahead and test fit it on the car, see how that drain line fits, and make sure my little coupler right here is gonna work and all that. She's in there, so it's a pretty insanely tight fit. I mean, it is currently rubbing on the this coupler, and then that coupler is super tight fit to try to get this pipe in, and then that pipe is basically rubbing on the fan almost. So everything is a crazy tight fit because I can't clock that any further without the pipe you know, being in the way. And yeah, I could make this pipe a little bit better, but I mean, it fits perfectly with a little bit of, you know, finesse. So you just got to kind of wiggle it in there, and you know, once you get in there, it's got a full connection. So you know, I don't think it's gonna blow off. And so besides that, everything else is just about done. Only thing we need left to do to start it is do an oil drain. So I got to pull the pan, weld a bung on the pan, and then make a 10AN line from that thing we just made, that oil drain, down to the pan. Once I do that, I can take everything apart, clean all the pipes out, clean out the intercooler, and we can start the car for the first time. This is the down pipe. I don't remember if I showed that. But we made that the other night. That came out super sick. Ton of clearance on that. Just that line right there, it's rubbing. That one right there, you can see it at the very bottom. So, but I'm just gonna put something that holds the line back, and then I'm gonna heat wrap the pipe so we won't have any problem there. But yeah, this is where we're at. It's coming out pretty good, I think. Everything's fitting real decent besides that one pipe, which is, I mean, it's super tight fit. So, you know, for that being the only real problem, not super worried about it, because hopefully the car won't have to come back apart too many times. I'm gonna take the tune real easy and just make sure everything's solid, and hopefully it'll stay together for a few years. I think I'm gonna have to switch out this fan for a Spall fan, because the AC doesn't work that great at idle. And then maybe put another fan on the back right here, just because there's no ducting or anything, and it's just this radiator fan way over here and this little fan, which is an eBay fan. So if you guys know anything, that's not really doing much for the condenser at idle. Not much airflow. So I think if I get a Spall fan on the back, put that eBay one up here in the front, more towards the middle, that will definitely help direct some airflow through the condenser. And then that'll help the AC. But yep, so that's where we're at on the all-wheel drive Integra build. We are going to start it up on the next video. So if you guys watched this far, appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that next video. Then pretty soon after that, we're gonna probably get a dyno tuned and see